Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lake Effect Garden and Design. My name is John Cleese, and we're going to do something different with the videos. It is fall, and we're not really planting that much anymore. Right now, we're just actually building a really large, beautiful stone wall outside of Grand Rapids. That's beside the point. The reason I'm here today is we thought we would show you what I go through after I get through my procrastination period, about how I actually approach a design when I'm planting with native plants, working on a landscape design. So I have picked one that is due. I need to get this done because I need to order the plants for next spring. So I thought it'd be perfect to actually do this along with you, and you can see how much time I waste and how much I procrastinated trying to get my work done. But all right, so this is going to be very casual, and let's go. Let's get started. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to move my big face. I look at the site plan. So let's get on the same page here so you all can see what I'm looking at. This is the house, cute little house, brand new house. This was a parking lot. It's in a super urbanized area. There's streets all around it. You can, let me just back up. Sorry, I went too fast. So here's the house. We're gonna have to do something with this walkway. It's super steep, and the client, it's just gonna be hard in the wintertime for the postman and anybody else that tries to walk up to their house. They want no grass, which I love. They want all native plants, which is gonna be super exciting. These trees were already planted by the city. They were already there. I didn't do those. You can see there's there's a stop sign here. There's a fire hydrant here. The client wants to have some paver material around this. And you can see here, they got two sidewalks in front of the house, roads, and you can see down here, it's super cute actually. It's like a little intersection with a circle, little shops and restaurants and stuff like this. But here are the challenges of this site. Is what we call the hell strip. And the hell strip is basically this piece of land, and on this case they've got two hell strips. They've got this one, and they got the one here in the front. And basically it's called a hell strip because it's a really difficult area besides grass to get any plants to grow. It's usually pretty crappy soil. It's been compacted. It's, they dig up utilities, etc. So it's not a great place to plant, but it is a space that lots of people do want plants in. And in this particular case, it's nice and sunny, although it's early in the morning, so you can see the shadow. But overall, it bakes in the sun all day long. We are in West Michigan, so we get a lot of snow, so it's got to be salt tolerant. So I got to figure out what types of plants to put into this guy. And then in the back, I'd say, well, actually, let me get rid of this and show you on the thing. So here's what you were just looking at. There's a fence that goes along here. This is kind of shady, a little bit kind of wet, I would say. This is the site plan. I can show you really quickly. I basically import a site plan. Oh, that doesn't help me. That's just what I use to show the space. Let me show you this. Come on. Here we go. Let's go. There we go. I'm going to open up the transparency. Basically, I got a site plan from them, from their architect, and I outline it in my 3D program. I happen to use Real-Time Landscape Architect, and I trace it. Now, I have not done the 3D house. I may not do a 3D house on this one, although it's pretty easy, but sometimes it can take hours to design that 3D house. But in this case, right now it's just got the sort of the plan view, so to speak. I outline the house. I've got some key rooms that I want to think about because they've got views out the kitchen, dining, living, and then this is all sort of their master bedroom. It's a retired couple, and then their front porch. But the first thing I want to do is I really got to focus on these hell strips, and I haven't really done these before. But one of the things about a hell strip is, especially if you live near the water like we do here in Lake Michigan, anything that grows in sand dunes or by the beach is basically going to be salt tolerant. Now, obviously, there's no salt in Lake Michigan, so I can't do that, but I can use the fact that it's dry, sandy, sunny, and find those plants. And then once I know those plants, I can look them up and make sure I find out which ones would be salt tolerant. So that's one thing that we have to do with this. The other problem that we have, or challenge that we have, is we've got, as you can see, we've got roads all around this site. I've got a sidewalk. So the first thing I know is I cannot do one of my big wild, big tall gardens, because I cannot have the plants flopping over the sidewalk or out into the street after it rains. We've also got sight lines here. Someone's coming up here and they're making a right turn, or they're coming around here and making a left turn. I can't have tall plants in these health strips. So when I was doing my research, I'm thinking that I could do some spotted plants of maybe like 3 feet, but I don't want to. But they're going to be very few and far between, at least on these health strips. I can get higher here as I get closer to the house. Maybe like, this is probably could be the highest areas here in front of the porch where the plants can be kind of tall and not flop over. But I also, in a space like this, in an urban setting, one of the things that we're learning as designers with native plants is, not everybody just wants that big, huge, tall meadow look. I know that's my bias. I love the big, tall meadows, but it doesn't always work in a neighborhood like this one. So I'm going to have to be thinking about that. And I wanted to try that, and I did a lot of work this summer on figuring out how do I make the look feel a little more tidy for areas like this. And one of the things I've come up with is I really am not going to use a lot more of the little blue stem grass or the taller grasses, that I'm going to really just stick with prairie dropseed, and I'll show you a picture of that in this design. It's very low to the ground. It's kind of moundy. And if you use that on the borders and kind of work it into the design, it gives it a more, it gives it a neater appearance to look at. So that's something that I'm going to be thinking about with this design. Yeah, so that's it. That is the first video. So site plan and thinking about it. And I'll go a little bit further, since I don't think I've used up that much time. I'm going to show you, I'll do the very first thing that I need to do on this one, which is I use this little, so there's a couple, I'm going to move this over here. There's a couple things on this program. They got this little magnet here, which attaches it to the point, right? So I can bring this down. The reason I don't use, well, you'll see, I like to do this first because it's got measurements in it. And all I want to do here is I really want to mark off, one, I'm going to disconnect the magnet so I can be a little bit more free form. I'm going to go to about I have to make this bigger. I want to mark off 1 foot. I want to understand where 1 foot is off the sidewalk. And in fact, we can also do that over here too. We'll go like this. Let's see, get a little bit bigger. I'm going to go to about 1 foot. Oh, I didn't get all the way over, did I? Is that 1 foot? Why does that seem bigger? All right, let me start that one over again. Rectangle, go down to here. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to release the magnet so I can see, and got a foot. And then we could actually take this one, copy, paste, and I'm just going to move this over here. I'm just going to use these for, what did I do? It's enormous. It's enormous. I'm just going to put this here, and I got another foot boundary. And these don't have to be perfect. And let's do one more. Oops, that's round. Let's do one more. I'm going to go get my magnet, grab my magnet, go over here. And I'm going to undo the magnet. And I'm going to go to about, go over there. And a foot. And I'm going to kind of turn this guy so he's on the thing. Boom. All right. So now, the reason I just did the 1 foot is I want to make sure that my lowest plants, when they grow, stay, in that foot long, that they don't go outside of that. So if I've got a plant that's going to get 2 feet wide, I know that I've got to center that plant here to make sure that when it grows, it really doesn't go past this 1 foot mark. So that is all we're going to do today. But you got to start somewhere. And that's the first thing I'm going to do. Next time when you come back, I'll go ahead and I'll mark out these other areas. And then we'll start to play with this, because I'm not going to plan in a straight line. And you'll see as I start to approach defining what plants that I should put in this health strip and what's the best way for us to go about and arranging them so they look naturally into this urban landscape. Yeah, that's what the client wants. So very exciting. Thank you so much for joining me. John Cleese, Lake Effect Garden Design, and I will see you in the next video.